Are you struggling in math? Is math your hardest subject? Well, go on YouTube and search up Mr. Math Eng.
Hey guys, let's go over quiz number 6, 3.1 to 3.2, March 13, 2024, version B. We are factoring and solving higher degree polynomials. As a reminder, for your name, you should be printing neatly. If you need to, do all caps and go ahead and circle your period, don't write it. Given 2x plus 5, write the 0 that corresponds to each factor. So this is a factor. We need to write the 0. Remember, factors, it's easier for students to think that your answer for when you factor, it has these parentheses. Well, you just set it equal to 0. You're doing PEMDAS backwards here. So I'm going to subtract 5 and divide by 2. X equals negative 5/2. The answer is none of the above. Okay, a 0, remember you can graph it. That's negative 2.5, so somewhere over here. That is where it crosses the x-axis. Question number 2, given x equals negative 4, write the factor, so that's what they want, that corresponds to each 0. So this is a 0. I wanted to set it equal to 0, so I'm going to add 4 here. X plus 4 equals 0. This one would be choice C. Question number 3, factor completely. You'll notice on your factoring flowchart that if you have two terms, you have one of these three options. And cubes means to the power of 3, which we have here. So if I take the cube root of each of these, notice I did not include the negative sign. That would be y to the third, and then 4 to the third power. This is going to be my a, this is going to be my b. Formula is a squared, ab, b squared. You have the minus sign there, so this is where you're going to use your SOAP. So same, opposite of negative is positive, and always positive. Then I go back with my a's and my b's. Y squared plus 4 times y. B squared is 16. And so the only one that matches is choice A. Question number 4, factor completely. Remember my factoring flowchart, the first thing I'm going to do is always find the greatest common factor. Remember that each of these have an x, or x to the third. I'm trying to point this out, y, and a 6. So my greatest common factor will be a 6x to the third. And then you're just left with x squared minus 4 times x plus 3. And then in blue, let's factor this one. A, B, C. A times C is 1 times 3. B value. Two numbers that multiplied by 3 are 3 and 1, but add to be negative 4, so this will have to be both negative. Multiplies to be 3, adds to negative 4. So my answers are negative 3, negative 1, and we have factored completely. Question number 5. Factor and identify the zeros or solve. I have 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4. tells me I either have a perfect square trinomial or I have factoring by grouping. So I'm going to put it into the box. So x to the third, negative 2x squared, 5x minus 10. Okay, going in this direction, they have an x in common. In this direction, they have an x squared. They multiply. Negative 2 multiplies x times, this would have to be 5. 5 times x is 5x. And then multiplies by negative 10. Okay, so right there we have factoring. This is what I did here in green. Now to identify the zeros, I'm going to do that below here, and I'm going to do that by setting each of those terms equal to 0. X equals 2, so that's one real solution. Subtract 5. Take the square root. Pay attention, when you take the square root, you must have a plus or minus. This is going to be negative 1 times 5, and the square root of negative 1 is I. So your answer is x equals plus or minus I radical 5, that's 2. 2 complex plus 1 real, that gives you 3 zeros. Number 6, you have 3 terms, 1, 2, 3. Half of 4 is 2. In this problem, you couldn't do that because half of 5 is not 4. So this would kind of spell out why you should do the GCF first. Okay, I'm just going to use my X box method. A, B, C. A times C is negative 12. B value is negative 1. I know it's going to be 4 and 3. This will have to be negative. Multiplies by negative 12. Adds to be negative 1. This one goes up here. Down here always. Negative 4 and 3. These are splitting the middle term, so that'll be x squareds. I have an x squared in common. X squared. 3. 3 times x squared gives you 3x squared, negative 4. So I have x squared plus 3, x squared minus 4. Now this one you can turn into a 0x. You'll notice that this one wouldn't work, it's prime. A times C is negative 4, my B value is 0, two numbers are positive 2 and negative 2. Okay, so this is my answer for factoring. This is my green. Factor completely. Okay, to identify the zeros, I just set them equal to 0. So this one, subtract 3. Take the square root, pay attention. When you take a square root of an equation, you must have plus or minus. That's square root of negative 1 is I, and radical 3 stays. 2 complex. 2 reals. 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives us 2, 4.
Math is great, math is okay. You will need in life every day. From pandas to functions, to fractions, to formulas. You will need in life every day. We need math.